Okay, I should be going live in places. Yeah, okay. Oh, that scared me. I almost streamed a flipping Paradoxes thing. That would have been fun. Hello, everybody. Welcome to some Astrologaster. Astrologaster, I think it is. This is a fantastic little game that I've seen a lot about. I've really wanted to try for a little while. I'm going to turn up the in-game sound for this because this has a bit of a unique thing where most of the cutscenes are sung.
Long ago in England in 1592, there begins our tale, and all of it is true. Through all of London bubonic plague did spread, covering folk in weeping sores and leaving thousands dead.
Oh my. Okay, it's already dark and I fucking love it. Oh, this is, yes. Drag left to turn the page. Oh.
From towns and cities, doctors they did flee, leaving their patients to die in misery.
But one brave doctor stayed when all the cowards fled, might have to be because he was too sick to leave his bed.
Alas, 'tis my final hour. I will surely die. I am too far gone to recover, and for the plague there is no cure.
Yeah, there is.
Unless a cure might be found in the stars.
Oh, right, okay. That's a new one. Choose the zodiac to diagnose the condition. How might the plague be cured? I have the plague, characterized by a loss of appetite, immoderate thirst, and pus-filled swellings behind the ears, in the armpits, and the groin. These are symptoms of a fever provoked by excess sanguinity in the liver. Sagittarius, ruler of the liver. So yes, that makes sense. Imbalance of the blood humour. Oh god, the humours. You choose Sagittarius.
Let me see now. According to the stars, the way to cure the plague is to treat the fever it provokes. Oh, can it be true? Might a disease so monstrous as the plague be cured by treating it as if it were an exceeding bad fever? Then I must use powerful herbs to bring the fever to crisis and break it. Let me see now. Angelica and dandelion for heat, borage to provoke sweating, infuse them in wine, strain and distill the mixture to produce a most powerful strong water. Huzzah! I am cured!
Oh, really?
I shall now go forth with my miraculous strong water to cure all London of the plague.
Current Simon Foreman, scene 13th of October 1592, 4 p.m. I just played since and provoked the fever, and I invented a new kind of strong water to cure it. I shall cure London of the plague, so wondrous will be my work that plays and songs will be writ in my honour.
Foreman made a plague cure and used it on himself, then left his house to restore Londoners to health.
Huzzah! 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 Huzzah!
Huzzah! Huzzah!
Simon Foreman cured us of the plague, 'tis true.
Some details are a little vague, but we know he used astrology and knows his own strong water. So what if he be not a proper licensed doctor? Here comes a lady
queer and a little warily. Her name is Avis Allen, what can her trouble be?
Okay, let's see what the matter with this lady is.
God give you good day, madam. How may I?
Be you Mr. Foreman? Mr. Simon Foreman, the doctor?
Aye, madam, I am indeed Dr. Simon Foreman. I bid you welcome to my consulting chambers. Mistress
Allen, Mistress Avis Allen of Lambeth.
Pray tell me your age, if you please, madam.
I am 33 years of age.
And how might I do you service this day, Mr. Allen? Pray describe your troubles to me.
Well, the pain started full late last eve upon retiring to bed. Oh, not that I am in the habit of retiring so late, but my husband did desire a special supper of cold meats to celebrate and give thanks in any case, it started in the night and it continued until dawning. That being the pain in my head and the chundering.
A moment whilst I make note of this. Headache and involuntary purging. Is that all?
The chundering.
That is all. And thinking on it, my complaint to seem most trifling. And you are doubtless busy with important cases. Oh, like the plague! Yea, verily, mayhap I should not have come after all. Good day, Dr. Foreman. I beseech you, pardon me, for I have wasted your time.
Prithee, do not go, for I assure you, madam, your case verily is important to me. And 'tis important to you, is it not, Mistress Allen? Else you would not have come this day.
Well, I...
Let us consult the stars now then, shall we? What is the cause of Mistress Allen's suffering?
Okay. Was up all night with a headache and chundering. What causes my suffering? Okay, it's disturbance of the mind. It's just a mild imbalance of the black bile in the body. Headache. Miss Allen's trouble has been provoked with anxious passions with her... Ah, she's being with child. Yes, that sounds right.
You are with child, Mistress Allen. 'Twas the reason for your celebration last even, methinks.
Aye, but how did you know?
I can see it in my chart, madam. There is a planet aligned with Scorpio at present, Scorpio being the constellation that rules over such matters. Pray tell, how long has it been since your monthly courses?
It has been 14 weeks since my courses, and yesterday I did feel the child quicken. So, indeed, 'twas the cause for our celebration, as you say.
Preggers.
For I have been with child before, you see, but 'tis never. And Mr. Allen and I do pray this one will be born alive.
Aww.
There, dear lady. The presence of the planet Mercury in my chart does suggest you suffer from anxious passions on account of your condition, and given your ill-favoured history, I warrant 'twas the twin burdens of hope and fear that provoked your troubles last even.
Oh, I see.
Pray take this flask of wine, madam. It has
Fucking
been
hell.
infused with cloves, ginger root, and cinnamon. Drink of it each morning, and you should soon feel much improved.
Verily. Oh, I will do as you advise. I thank you
You're
heartily,
pregnant!
sir.
Have this
Fare
cocktail!
you well, Dr. Foreman.
Fare you well, Mistress Allen.
So, for those of you wondering what this game is, this is Astrologaster. This is basically medieval or late medieval doctor simulator, and all the cutscenes are sung. It's fantastic. Okay, so this is the case. The querent did present symptoms of a headache and involuntary upward purging. Oh, so there's upward and downward purging. Oh, goodness. I judge the querent as being with child. Methinks the querent is most pleased with me for reading the reading I gave today. So we got a 55 letter of recommendation. Ooh. What a kind man Dr. Foreman is. So patient with me. This is going to be a great game for me because I love listening to madrigals, which is that style of singing, for those who don't know. It's the original 4-part harmonies, which a lot of Christmas carols are written in. So you have the bass, tenor, alto, and soprano lines, and it's beautiful.
Good day, sir. You are Simon Foreman, the physician, are you not? These are your rooms.
Indeed, I am he, and well met, sir. Be it Thomas Blagg I have the honour of welcoming to my humble consulting chambers, the Dean of Rochester Cathedral?
Indeed, 'tis I, Thomas Blagg. Though it is not upon church business that I come to you this day. 'Tis upon a matter of my own that I require counsel. I have lately been offered some very lucrative investment opportunities. And, well, it is said that God speaks to us through the stars, does he not?
Indeed he does. 'Tis well known that astrology is but a conduit for the word of God, as interpreted using scientifical means. And now, these investments of which you speak, pray tell of them, if you please.
2 merchant ships will shortly set sail on very lucrative trading expeditions. I do not possess the coin to invest in both. Hence, I must choose between them. And I must choose very wisely indeed. For sea voyages are most perilous, and if my ship were to founder or be captured by pirates, I would lose my entire investment.
Aye, forsooth, 'twould be most lamentable, to say nothing of the poor souls who might lose their lives.
Who are, naturally, the greater of my concerns.
Aye, naturally. And whither might these ships be bound?
The first is bound for the Spice Islands of the East. 'Tis a voyage to be undertaken by a ship named the Conquering Cherub. The other is the Pride of Yarmouth. She is to bring back sugar from the Americas. Have you now the information you require? Then perchance you may divine for me upon which of these 2 ships our Lord God has bestowed his divine blessing.
Aye, Dean Blagg, we may now consult the stars. Should Thomas Blagg invest in the voyage of the Conquering Cherub, or that of the Pride of Yarmouth?
Okay. Is it me or is this very Blackadder? And again, I love it. So, should I invest in the Conquering Cherub or the Pride of Yarmouth? Oh god, it just got more complex. This Uranus, this represents a change in fortune. This represents femininity. The ship's name should evoke a woman who takes part in marriage. The ship, this represents victory, House of Children. So the right answer is the Conquering Cherub because it talks about marriage, victory, and that will cause the change in thing. However, a change in fortune, not necessarily the good fortune. Oh my god. Yarmouth is the mouth of the River Yar, so that's not a woman. Go with the Conquering Cherub.
The stars advise you to invest in the ship named the Conquering Cherub.
I see. And why is that?
Well, I have calculated that at this very hour, upon this very day, the planet Mars and the constellation Scorpio do both dwell in that part of the sky we call the House of Children. And, as it happens, Mars is the ruler of Scorpio, hence we may say that Mars is presently exalted.
Mars has been exalted by Scorpio, you say? And what might that mean?
When exalted, Mars represents victory. And so, with victory in the House of Children, we may read this as a victorious child. Ergo, the Conquering Cherub.
Ah, I see. For a cherub is a kind of child, is it not? In sooth, I do find the science of astrology verily fascinating.
Astrology.
I thank you, Dr. Foreman. You have been most helpful.
Yarmouth is a place in the UK, Muzz. So it wouldn't have been that one. I don't think. I don't think Yarmouth is a person. Well, is there an Earl of Yarmouth or something? Maybe. Okay. Case summary. It wasn't very medical of me. First seeking counsel. Okay, I got kind of a letter of recommendation there. 20 out of 100.
She seems full afraid.
Wow. God, I love it.
Good morrow, sir. Pray tell, are these the consulting chambers of Simon Foreman, Doctor of Astrology and Physic?
Indeed, 'tis I, Dr. Simon Foreman. And your name, madam?
Emma Sharp of Shoreditch, sir. 25 years of age.
Welcome, Miss Sharp. And how may I do you service this day?
Hang on. Was Shoreditch even a place back then? Yeah, from Shoreditch. I love it. We've had one from Lambeth, which did exist, but was Shoreditch around? I don't know. Maybe it does.
Hey.
Well, 'tis a trifle delicate. A man has asked me to be his wife. A dear, kind man, but I fear you will think me cold, Dr. Foreman.
There, madam, whatever is the matter?
Well, he is exceeding advanced in years. I do worry he may not be long for the world, and if he were to die, I do not think I could bear it. Verily, I would not. Indeed, methinks I would rather not marry him at all. Am I very heartless, Dr. Foreman?
Nay, not in the least, madam. Your fears are most reasonable. A man in the winter of his life is indeed more likely to die. I assure you, madam, 'tis a medical fact. But methinks you wish to know whether this man be afflicted with a grave health condition, do you not? To wit, any ailment that might soon prove fatal?
Forsooth I do. That is my question precisely. Why, Dr. Foreman, 'tis as if you have a gift for reading minds.
Merely the gift of logical surmise, madam. Let us see whether a judgment of the stars may calm your fears. Does Mr. What was your gentleman's name?
Mr. George Middleton, a wool merchant.
Does Mr. Middleton have any ailments that might hasten his death?
Does George Middleton have any grave health conditions? Mild enchantment caused by a witch. Mr. Middleton suffers from dropping down of the piss, characterized by involuntary urination, exacerbated when with his fear of heights. Cardiac passion that may end in death. Muzz, right? Request the key for this? Yeah, no, it's quite great. It's quite good. I'm enjoying it already. What do we think, guys? Does he suffer with dropping down of the piss? Has he been bewitched? Which also has the possibility in death because of Pluto in retrograde. Or is he suffers from cardiac passion? God, I don't know. I feel like I need to start writing down key points from these interviews to answer these. I think the goal is right, or making... I'm not sure if it's right or making them happy. I think it can be either or. So what do we think? What do we think? Meantime, I'm quickly going to look at my email because I've got an email from an artist that I've... I go for the fear of heights, but I too didn't quite catch her plight. The right one sounds me to you. Cardiac passion. Can we re-listen to what she said? We can't. Oh no. I want to turn the page back. Yeah, clicking, I can't. I've just tabbed out by accident. George Middleton. I mean, that's very medieval. He has been bewitched. Dropping down of the piss. Cardiac passion. Let's go with cardiac passion.
I am full sorry, madam, but the stars give heavy news. Mr. Middleton suffers from a cardiac passion. Indeed, his heart may stop at any moment. He must avoid anything that might alarm or trouble his vital spirits. One shock could be enough to kill him.
Oh, woe, alas, poor Mr. Middleton. I thank you for your kind understanding, Dr. Foreman, and for your discretion in this matter. I will at once to my family go and beseech them not to make me accept Mr. Middleton's proposal. God give you good day, Dr. Foreman.
A 40. I guess that's alright. Who was that handsome manservant I passed the door? Perhaps one day I shall have a servant that cuts so fine a figure. Public notice. Beware. Is the man treating you a qualified licensed doctor? London has lately been importuned by low-born charlatans claiming the title of doctor. These men have never attended university and therefore cannot be trusted. Any man found to be practicing medicine without a medical license shall be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Dr. Richard Smith, President, the College of Physicians.
Murdering would those doctors come. Murdering those doctors come. Murdering one fine day. Those doctors would they slave. Those doctors will they slave for man. Will they send him to jail? They send him to jail.
Oh, okay.
What is the meaning of this warning being put about by the College of Physicians? Do they mean to do me harm? It is true that I do not have a medical license. What am I to do? Mayhap the stars will advise me.
Church of England can help me, from the Archbishop of Canterbury has a special power to grant medical licenses. Interesting. College of Physicians is making war against me. If I am to become the best doctor in London, I must find a way to end it. The authority the licensed doctors of London hold is a primary Primarily owing to their wealth and privilege, there is much that they do not know about physics. I must use my brilliant mind to forge strong relationship with my querents. The solution involves me being sensitive to the needs of my querents. Okay, try and get myself a medical license through talking to the Archbishop of Canterbury. Or build... No, that doesn't help me. Religion's more likely to help me in this day and age.
I see. These doctors have waged war against me, and the only way to stop them is to obtain a medical license. And in the House of Religion... Ah, yes. A reminder that the Archbishop has the power to grant such licenses. Mayhap I will one day find a way to petition him for one. In the meantime, I must serve my querents well, for if I do, they will doubtless favour me with letters of recommendation I can use to petition the University of Cambridge to grant me a license.
Okay.
Who's this man at the door who we've not seen before? Who's this man at the door who we've not seen before? Who is come to inquire dressed in such strange attire? 'Tis Signor Ferraro.
Ah, it's so regal. I love it.
Good day to you, sir. Oh, I see you're having some difficulties. William, fetch my guest a chair.
No, it's good. I am just a little stiff.
As you wish. Mr.
Signor Riccardo Ferraro. I am a gentleman of Venezia, come to make a trade in London.
Venice? 'Tis a fine city, I hear. And how may I do you service this day, Signor Ferraro?
I am come with una problema medicale, and you are most great dottore who does cure all London, huh? You cure Ferraro too, see?
Forsooth, I will seek to do so, Signor. Pray, describe your complaints, if you please.
Right, everybody ready?
He's burning when I make the water.
Pain during urination?
See, and his pain down here. Molto pain.
And pain in the lower back. Now, let us see what the stars can tell us. What ails Signor Riccardo Ferraro?
I can answer this with one movement. He has the clap. Signor Riccardo Ferraro suffers from gout, which is caused by hot, dry tumours seeping into the joints of the foot. Nope. He suffers stones in the kidney. Oh, it could be kidney stones. Could be kidney stones. He has dysentery in the bowels, faintness from the oily stools. This suggests Ferraro is lying. No, I think he's got kidney stones.
Tis a case of stones in the kidney, I regret to say. But worry not, Signor. I will give you an ounce of my strong water to dislodge them. Drink this entire flask when you rise at dawn tomorrow. You may then expect to evacuate the stones by way of your privy member within just a few hours.
Ah, your famous strong water. This water is said to cure the plague, huh? I thank you, Signor Foreman. And now Riccardo Ferraro bids you good day.
Ah, you got nowhere close to giving me a letter of recommendation.
'Tis sure she's no beauty, 'tis true she lacks finesse, but every awkward hero needs his awkward princess.
Oh, Avis Allen is back.
Ah, well met, Mistress Allen. Pray tell, the last time I saw you, you were with child, methinks. Pray tell, how fares...
I would rather not talk about that, if you please.
Oh, I see. I am full sorry, madam.
I'm
brings
come
you this-
upon the matter
Beg your
that brings.
pardon, madam. I prithee, madam, say on.
I'm come about the new law. I know not what to do, and I would have counsel.
You are in trouble with the law, madam?
Nay, at least not yet, but my neighbours have begun to remark unkindly upon my absences, my Sunday absences from church. I am afeard one of them may soon denounce me.
Ah, 'tis the Act Against Recusants you speak of. The law that obliges Catholics to attend church and take the English sacrament. You are of the Catholic faith, then, I take it?
I, a Catholic, but as well a law-abiding woman and a full loyal subject of the Queen. Long may she reign.
I do not doubt it, madam.
But to take the Protestant sacrament, 'tis heresy. So says the Pope in Rome. I risk being damned to hell if I do it, Dr. Foreman. Verily, I find myself in a most terrible bind.
I see. Damned if you do, yet condemned if you do not. A cruel bind indeed. Well, let us see if the stars may untangle it for us. Should Mistress Avis Allen attend Protestant church services?
If it's the Queen and we're Protestant, I think we're Elizabeth I. Wait, we're 15 something. We are in... Yeah, we're in Elizabeth I's reign. This is Elizabethan. So this is post Henry VIII. I am Catholic. Should I obey the law and attend Protestant church services?
Please do to help me.
Hey Ben, thanks for the bits. Okay, House of Wealth. Indicates some jealousy. Neptune, this suggests confusion. This represents women. She must receive, for when the Queen dies, her successor may revert England back to Catholicism. By strength, Pluto represents death. This represents a surprising political event. Wait, James I is 1603, right? James was a Catholic, I think. James I was... religion. He is lenient towards Catholic. Oh no, he's a Protestant. Heavily Protestant. Oh dear. James I was James I and fourth of Scotland was the one who unioned Scotland and England and was very obsessed with witches. Be a creative solution, appeasing the Pope in Rome whilst also honouring England's Protestant legacy. Mr. Allen risks getting in trouble with the law and being punished by the authority. It's her duty to cooperate. going to go with B.
I fear the stars confirm your fears. You must attend church every Sunday, lest you risk being prosecuted for being a recusant.
Oh, but then what of my soul, Dr. Foreman?
Methinks I have a solution for that, madam. If you were to cross your fingers behind your back during the service, any Protestant oath you swear would not count. Of course, you must be sure to stand at the back of the church while doing so that only God may see, and no one else.
Forsooth, what an ingenious notion! Oh, Dr. Foreman, you have saved me. You are so wise, sir. 'Tis so. Verily, 'tis most admirable.
But, dear lady, 'tis you who is to be admired. The strength of resolve, your devotion to your faith, and your... Madam, would you care to see my collection of Venetian glassware?
I think I would. Indeed, I would like that very well.
Oh, we've got an achievement. Coitus post consultatio. Oh my goodness. Oh, almost a full letter of recommendation there. God mend me, what have I done? If only I knew a Jesuit priest I might confess my sins to.
Here comes a beauty dark as night. Her hair does shine, her eyes are bright. A damsel formed for man's delight.
Oh, she is quite a lady. Oh, she is quite a lady.
Lovely.
Good day to you, sir. I am Amelia Bassano of Bishopsgate, here for my consultation.
Oof.
Welcome, Mistress Bassano. Bassano, 'tis an Italian name, is it not?
Aye, it is, sir. Though I was born in London, my family are from Venice. They did come to London to gain employment as musicians at the royal court.
Ah, I know one of your countrymen, Riccardo Ferraro, another one of my querents. Mayhap you know him? He hails from Venice, too.
No, sir, I do not know him. Venice is a large city, and as such 'tis home to many thousands of men. And as I did mention, I was born in London.
Aye,
Racist.
of course. Mayhap we turn our thoughts to what brings you hither this day. Have you a question for me?
Aye, sir, I wish to know what afflicts me, for my belly does begin to swell, and lately I oft find myself chundering after meals.
Swollen abdomen and involuntary upward purging. Well, now, let us consult the stars to judge the cause of these troubles. What is ailing Mistress Amelia Bassano?
Stomach ulcer. A liver worm. She is with child. Crick in the knees. Okay. Sagittarius. Okay, so what is a liver worm? What on earth is a liver worm? Worm in the liver. Oh god, that was an actual thing. Oh. Don't Google that. Right, what do we think? Preggers? I sort of went preggers, but it's after meals, which makes me think it's more likely to be a liver worm. Well, no, liver's not the stomach. What am I talking about? It's got to be preggers.
I neglected to ask. Is there a Mr. Bassano?
Aye, my father still lives.
I mean to say, are you yet married, Mistress Bassano? I presume you are, for the stars indicate that you are with child. Wondrous news indeed.
Ah, I see.
Of course, it is natural for a young lady to be a trifle anxious when she's expecting her first child. And I see you are anxious, are you not?
Aye, Mr. Foreman, I own that I am.
Well, doubtless you are anxious owing to the unpredictable nature of your condition. For instance, sometimes the child might emerge from its mother's womb early, weeks or even months earlier than anticipated. This possibility is a medical fact, and one that should be explained to any husband you may... Do you see what I'm saying, Mistress Bassano?
Nay, not in the least, sir.
Ah, some of my maiden querents, I assume you are still unmarried and therefore a maiden, when they find themselves inexplicably with child, they oft do not remain unmarried for long. I advise you to discuss this with your family without delay, Mistress Bassano. Doubtless they will be keen to make the arrangements for you.
I see. Yes, of course. I must lose no time in finding a husband. I thank you, Dr. Foreman. Good day.
Ooh. Amelia Lanier. Oh, yeah. Not Bassano. Doubtless cousin Alfonso will consent to marry me, especially if I get Lord Hunston's settled money on me for the child. Oh. Oh.
Mary Payne is frightened when she spies a looking glass, for 'tis a portal out through whence the gates of hell do blast. A deadly and foul wind that comes direct from Satan's heart.
I actually have heard that one on Twitter. It comes directly from Satan's. Fa la 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 la. I want to be able to re-listen to them.
Blessed morrow to you, Dr. Foreman. I am Mary Payne of 4th Street in Lambeth. I'm come to seek your counsel about my neighbours.
Good morrow, Mistress Payne, and well met. What trouble do your neighbours give you? They play their lutes into the night, perchance? Mayhap a neighbour has cast a malignant spell upon your cabbages.
Why, sir, 'tis no trifling matter.
Our acquaintance that we've met before, that is a Catholic, now goes to Protestant church, is also from Lambeth.
Indeed, 'tis a matter of grave importance. Doubtless you do know we have a Catholic living on 4th Street, a woman by the name of Avis Allen.
Ah, yes. I did hear tell that Mistress Allen subscribes to the Romish faith. But 'tis no crime to be a Catholic, is it, madam? At least, not at present.
Aye, but harbouring a Jesuit priest is, Dr. Foreman. These evenings past, I have spied a man sneaking in and out of the Allens' house. 'Tis my reckoning the man is a priest who is going hither and thither all over Lambeth to perform the Catholic Mass and take confessions. Doubtless Mr. Allen is hiding him in one of those little cupboards.
You mean to say you think Mr. Allen has installed a priest hole in his house? A secret room hidden behind the wood panelling of a wall?
Indeed I do. I am certain that he has such a hole, and that a priest is going in and out of Mr. Allen's hole from dusk till dawn.
Really? How troubling. But surely you are mistaken, madam, for under the cover of darkness, how can you be sure the man you did spy was not Mr. Allen himself?
Nay, 'twas not Mr. Allen. Mr. Allen is a fine, tall figure of a man, whereas the figure I did spy was very narrow and malformed in appearance. A scrawny little imp of a man he was.
I see.
Now, you must not think me intolerant, Dr. Foreman. If Mistress Allen must cling to her idolatrous backward beliefs, 'tis her own affair, and I have no wish to cause trouble for the Allens. And 'tis true that Mistress Allen does now attend church on Sundays and takes the English sacrament just as she ought to. But we residents of 4th Street are decent English folk. We will not abide an agent of Rome sneaking around our neighbourhood, muttering incantations in some devilish foreign tongue.
I think you mean Latin, madam.
But before I act upon my suspicions, I think it wise to know if there be any truth in them.
Then let us see what the stars can tell us. Who is this mysterious stranger, and why does he frequent the Allen's house late at night?
It's me. It's 100% me. House of Possessions. House of Current. This suggests death. Sparks a relationship with an untrustworthy foreigner, as foreigners can... Okay. Midgeman's instincts about being thwarted by an inability to bear a child. Finery. A house of known enemies. Mistress Payne will die suddenly, perhaps before the end of this consultation. Narrow malformed squirrel little imp of a man. Speaks of a relation with an untrustworthy foreigner. Stubbornly persists. Instincts have been thwarted. So A, B, or C? This is hard, because I don't really want to help Mrs. Payne. I quite like Mrs. Allen. I like the idea that she will die suddenly. Maybe perhaps before the end of the consultation. She did mention the Jesuit priest, but I'm going to go for A.
The man you saw prowling around the Allen's house is no priest. He is a thief, come at night to steal silver plate and candlesticks.
'Tis a mere robber I saw. On my honour, that is well to hear. Still, something must be done about it. I will rouse the menfolk of Fore Street and have them patrol our street each night until this sneak thief is apprehended.
Ah, is that truly necessary, madam? Be there not more...
Pleasant day, Dr. Foreman.
It's 100% myself. What a fine-looking youth Foreman's manservant is. Oh, would that I were my niece's age again. What is it everyone going for my manservant?
When the querent does rock a continental frock, when the Ferraro
It's Flano, it's Flano.
when his Italian flair features on facial hair, 'tis Ferraro.
Oh, that's beautiful.
God give you good day, signor. And how may I assist you?
'Tis I, Riccardo Ferraro, come once again to see the great dottore, Simon Foreman.
So I see. What brings you this day?
I bring myself to you, so you treat my illness. 'Tis very grave.
And, what might this illness be? Perchance we might start with your complaints.
First problem is the laughter that cannot be controlled.
Uncontrollable laughter, you say? I see. Anything else?
Next problem, the dancing that cannot be controlled.
Uncontrollable dancing. And yet, you do not appear to be dancing at present.
What can I say? 'Tis uncontrollable dancing. I cannot control when I dance.
Nay, 'tis a fair point.
Doubtless my disease, whatever it may be, is very rare and very difficult to diagnose. But of course, if it be beyond your medical understanding...
Let me assure you, signor, that whatever is said of us on the continent, the learning of we English doctors is unparalleled. There is no better medical care to be had than in London. Now, Let us see whether the stars may tell us something of your unusual and troubling illness.
Okay, this is a weird one. Been bitten by a tarantula on one of his ankles. Tarantula venom causes the victim to laugh, sing, or dance uncontrollably, also while provoking acute loathing of music. Colic, a disease, the occasional abdomen bleaching, bloating from the stomach. Well, no, it's the first one, isn't it? He's been bitten by a tarantula, apparently.
You have been bitten by a tarantula. Its venom has been creeping throughout your body, provoking the wanton laughter and dancing you're experiencing. The tarantula is a rare spider from foreign climes. Doubtless it travelled with you from Venice, hiding itself among your belongings.
Aye, doubtless you are right this time.
The venom may be expelled from the body using a combination of heat and music. I advise you to have a lutenist come by your house to sing and play for you while you bide near the fire. But take care not to insult the musicians playing, for whilst you will find it most loathsome, 'twill only be on account of the venom.
Molto bene, Signor Foreman. I will do as you advise. Riccardo Ferraro bids you good day.
Yep. Okay. He was bitten by a tarantula, apparently. Let's continue. How did Mr. Foreman know of this rare illness? It seems as if he has at least some learning.
Why does this lady feel confined? Mayhap the world is too unkind. Nay, doctor, medicate her mind.
Pray cure this comely lady. Pray cure this comely lady.
Keeps talking about this comely lady.
Good day to you, madam.
Yes. Good day, Mr. Foreman. Pray tell, is your Venetian querent Riccardo Ferraro one of the patients you treat for troubles of the mind? Forsooth, his manner is right strange. I passed him at the door, and when I addressed him in the Italian tongue, he abruptly turned from me and ran away down the street.
Nay, Signor Ferraro has no grave troubles of the mind that I'm aware of. Mayhap he was merely dumbstruck by your beauty, madam.
Dr. Foreman, a man is rarely struck dumb by a woman's beauty. Indeed,
Riccardo
'tis quite the
Ferraro
reverse.
is not
He is oft rendered all the more loquacious,
Italian.
plaguing her with ill-formed metaphor.
Calling it now. Riccardo Fernando is not Italian. He is a surgeon from the surgeon. Like he's investigating me. For sure.
Was he believes are compliments, and with hasty declarations and invitations she has neither sought nor invited.
Ah, quite. But let us turn our minds to happier thoughts. I did lately hear of your marriage to your cousin, Mr. Alfonso Lania, for which I must congratulate you. And as I recall, you were with child when I last saw you.
Aye, I was, as you correctly judged.
And your child and husband are both well, I hope?
I would rather not discourse on the subject of my husband, Dr. Foreman.
As it pleases you, madam. What brings you this day?
Lately I have been feeling heavy and lethargic. I do also find it hard to fix my attention upon the book I am reading or upon words I am composing. And yet, although I oft feel right tired, I am having difficulty sleeping.
Ah, well, becoming a mother, beset with all the demands of a suckling babe, can force change upon the normal rhythms of life.
Nay, 'tis not that, for I have employed a wet nurse for the feeding and much of the care of my son. Methinks I must have some kind of disease.
I see. Let us consult the stars to see what afflicts you. What is ailing Mistress Emilia Lania?
I feel heavy and lethargic, yet I cannot sleep. What ails me? Melancholy. Black bile. Phlegmatism, associated with excess of phlegm. Stoicism and and stubbornness. Choleric temperature associated with the exercise of yellow bile. Aggressive and an opinionated nature. Digestive system. I think it's melancholy.
Mistress Lania, the stars indicate that your suffering is occasioned by melancholy, or, in other words, black bile.
I see. And what treatment can you give me for it?
Before we speak of treating your condition, madam, I think it wise we determine what has provoked it. You did express a desire not to speak of your husband, and I cannot help but think that such a reluctance reveals where the source of your troubles might lie, to wit, within your marriage. Would I be right in thinking this? I do not wish to cause you distress, madam, but as a doctor, I do feel I must press you in case it is relevant to your troubles.
My marriage is not a happy one, Dr. Foreman. Mr. Lanier and I do not agree on matters of money and strong drink.
I see. And what are your opinions on these subjects?
That he spends all our money on strong drink. He disagrees.
And your husband cannot be brought around to see your point of view, nor you his, I presume. Well, the marital discord provoked by strong differences of opinion can often engender melancholy in a wife. Until the matter is resolved between you, you may take a syrup of roses and chicory. Drink of it each day, and it will serve to reinvigorate your vital spirits. I will also have my manservant William bleed you of some of that excess bile.
I thank you, Dr. Foreman.
William, come hither and bleed Mistress Lanier.
Okay, so there's 6 cases for each people, apparently. 65. Maybe bleeding my husband would cure him of his taste of strong drink. Very vigorous bleeding. Oh dear. Male. Sir, I thank you for your recent inquiry in regards to obtaining a license to practice medicine. I note from our records that you terminated your enrollment at our institute some years ago on the grounds of insufficient funds. Whilst we do not ordinarily issue medical licenses to men who have not first completed a medical degree, proof of equivalent professional experience in the form of letters of recommendation may be taken into consideration. A minimum of 8 such letters of recommendation is customarily required. I advise you to write to us again once you have acquired the requisite numbers of letters. John Cole, Vice-Chancellor, University, Cambridge.
What is their relation? We are no longer sure. Seems Foreman's now the patient, and Avis is the cure.
Oh.
Ah, my dear Avis, what a pleasure it is to see you. I have oft thought of our last...
I cannot tarry long. My husband will be expecting me home.
Of course. But, dear lady, is something the matter?
Of course. Do not all your querents come with a matter they wish an answer to?
Well, yes, but...
I wish to ask of the stars whether a man I am close with, a man who is not my husband, whether that man be also close with another woman.
A man you are... I see. Well, if I am to judge the stars for you, I must ask you to be more precise. In what sense do you mean close? The platonic bond of friendship?
Nay, close in the sense of being intimate.
I see. Then 'tis the familial tie of kinship, perchance.
Nay, I mean someone with whom I have shared physical relations.
Verily, madam, if I am to give you an accurate reading, you must state your question clearly.
Methinks you know full well what I ask. I bid you ask the stars whether my lover is, that is to say, be it true that he engages with another woman in acts of strumpy-humpy.
Madam, you astonish me. 'Tis unlike you to speak such indelicate words. Now, if I understand you correctly, you have a lover, and you wish to know whether he has been sharing his tender favours with another woman.
Aye, but did I not verily say so?
And now that we have at last fathomed your question, let us read the stars to fathom an answer. Has Mistress Allen's lover been unfaithful to her?
This is so Blackadder, I bloody love it. Miss Allen has been turned to jealousy and confusion. To be optimistic about her romances with this man. Provoke unexpected intimacies between me and Miss Avis. Mr. Allen is a woman who is willing and able to marry him. He wishes to continue his family line. Oh. No longer pleases her lover and the spark has been lost. Mistress Allen's lover wishes to father a child. Do we want to father a child with Miss Allen? I think we're going to go with A, though. That sounds nicer. Will provoke unexpected intimacies.
The stars are most clear, madam. Your lover has not been coupling with another woman.
He has not.
Forsooth, the stars say that your mind has been turned by jealousy and confusion. Now, if there is nothing further, madam...
Oh, how relieved I am to hear you say this. Oh, Simon, what a fool I have been not to trust you.
But you... this lover... 'twas me all along? You were not speaking of some other man?
I beseech you, pardon me, Simon. I had to know the truth from the stars, for I did hear tell of other women.
But how could you not see? No other woman is to me so dear and family. Is it not clear to you that
How cute.
Do you verily, Simon?
Oh, my dear, sweet Avis.
Coitus post consultatio. Hey, I got myself my letter of recommendation from Avis Allen.
Sybil Fortescue always has what's new. Far ahead of her friends. She oft gets her hands on goods from foreign lands. That Captain Fortescue sends.
Good morrow, madam. I humbly welcome you to my consulting chambers and thank you for choosing my practice. Mistress...
Fortescue. Mistress Sybil Fortescue.
Well then, Mistress Fortescue, what may I assist you with this day?
I come upon a most troubling matter, sir. I know not whether it is a medical matter or something else.
I see. Pray describe your trouble to me, madam.
Well, I suppose it all began with a dinner I hosted at my house last even. Mayhap you have heard of my dinners, Dr. Foreman. They are much talked about. Though I fear last evening's dinner will be talked about for all the wrong reasons.
Talked about, you say?
Yes, indeed, invitations to my dinners are much sought after, for I host the most desirable of guests, lords, bishops, poets, explorers, painters, and the like. Why, last eve I hosted the famous Robert Lord Devereux, the playwright William Shakespeare, and the Bishop of London and his wife. As well as fascinating conversation, at my table I serve the very latest and most original dishes. Last even, I served an exotic green vegetable called a portato. So crisp and refreshing. My dear husband sent them home to me from the New World. Doubtless you have heard of my husband, Captain Fortescue. He is a great friend of Sir Walter Raleigh.
I see. Your dinners do sound most excellent, Mistress Fortescue. But what occurred at last eve's dinner that has you so distressed?
Well, in truth, 'twas after dinner. We all felt a strong desire to take some air, and so we left the table to take a turn in some pleasure gardens nearby. But then, as we were walking along the path, right in the middle of the gardens, in full public view...
Pray do not distress yourself, madam. Prithee, take your time.
My guests and I were, all of a sudden, stricken with pain. We began chundering and voiding from our... But there was nowhere to turn, you see. There were no bushes close by to shield our modesty. 'Twas unspeakable.
A moment, madam, as I note this down. Abdominal pain and simultaneous upward and downward purging of a most sudden and violent nature. Now, let us see how these stars explain this most distressing and unsavoury event. What troubled Mistress Sybil Fortescue and her guests last eve?
That would be food poisoning. Evil digestion. Chilly cold. Or wandering hands. So that would be evil digestion.
Madam, I think you said the New World vegetables you dined upon were green in colour, did you not? And you described them as crisp and refreshing, I think. I take it then that you served them to your guests green and raw?
Yes, indeed. Most of the potatoes my husband sent me were full, dull, and unhealthsome in appearance. Hence I served only the green ones. I had my cook cut them in such a way as to resemble roses. 'Tis the way I oft serve my apples.
Ah, then your trouble was a severe case of evil digestion. I have read that these vegetables can be noxious if they turn green.
Oh, my days! Do you mean I poisoned my guests?
In a manner of speaking, aye. But worry not, madam, for the suffering was but temporary. Indeed, it does sound as if the bodies of your guests were most comprehensively purged of the poison. However, in future, be sure to cook the potatoes until they are soft, and pray do not eat the ones that have turned green.
As God shall mend me! What a shameful affair this has been! I shall go home and, well, I shall write to my husband and ask that he includes cooking instructions with the next gift of food that he sends me. I thank ye and bid ye good day, Dr. Foreman.
$45. So I've got to. So I think these stack, and I think I've got to try and get those people to. So, Muzz, you're asking about Call of Cthulhu. You've picked your profession. Any other skill, Asa, personal or era specificity? I assume I can pick any skill that suits my character. Yes. Yeah. You can pick any skill that suits your character. If when I look at a character sheet and I see that it's like, hang on, why do you know this? Obviously, if there's background justification and stuff, that's fine. Yeah, Call of Cthulhu is kind of ambiguous. You get to tailor your character a bit.
Here comes a literary mind, one such as we do rarely find. Just needs a man to be behind, for she's but a lady.
She is but a lady.
Good even, Miss Lanier. What brings you?
I am come about my future, Dr. Foreman. I wish to know whether I will find success as a writer of poems and plays. You can predict futures, can you not?
You, madam? A writer of poems and of plays? Forsooth, how verily remarkable.
Well, 'tis true most of us Bassanos and Laniers are musicians, but I have chosen a different path. I've lately begun a collaboration with a poet and playwright. Let us call him Mr. S.
William
He is
Shakespeare.
presently writing a play that takes place in northern Italy, and as I am of Italian heritage, he has
Romeo and
asked me to
Juliet.
help him write it.
How interesting.
Gentleman of Verona.
And does this collaboration betwixt you go well?
Right well, or
Two
so
cities.
methinks. Indeed, Mr. S did suggest that I am full talented as a writer. Be not afraid of greatness, he told me. For once our play opens upon the London stage, our success will follow, as night follows day.
I see. Then what would you have me ask the stars, madam?
That's Romeo and Juliet.
I've noted that Mr. S, although a brilliant man, is oft prone to exaggerated melodrama and implausible plot resolutions. I wish to know whether this story of his, of our future success, is true.
Very wise of you, madam. Then let us see whether your success or failure is writ in the stars. Will Mistress Amelia Lanier find fame and fortune as a writer?
Oh no, that was Hamlet. But that's set in Germany. Okay, Mr. Stanley, optimism is successful. Work well together with our partnership. Sensitive to the needs of her child. Speak to Mr. Ed's creative theft. Ooh. The house ones of legacy marred by deceit and jealousy. I think I'm going to go with C. I don't want her to be... It's Shakespeare. He apparently stole everything. So let's go with C.
Madam, the stars tell of a great deceit against you. They suggest that your collaboration with Mr. S puts you at risk of... let me see here. Creative domination and theft. The result being that you will reap little from your collaboration with Mr. S, but feelings of bitterness and jealousy.
This... I cannot believe this of Mr. S. He is a right honourable man. I cannot believe such compelling insights into the human condition could be writ by such a knave as you describe. To be sure, he does oft indulge in wordplay for its own sake, thus cheapening and unnecessarily prolonging a scene.
Yeah, he does.
But nay, he is not a bad man. I know you mean well, Dr. Foreman, but I believe your judgment of the stars must be wrong on this occasion.
Oh dear. Oh, I lost progress there.
Mistress Avis Allen, the love of Foreman's life, how futile 'tis to fall for another man's wife.
Good day to you, sir.
Good day to you, madam. What service may I perform for you this day?
For me? None. None at all.
Verily. Then I cannot fathom why you...
'Twas my husband who bade me come, for he finds it difficult to speak of... As I say, he had me come in his stead, and I could think of no reason to give him for why I should not come.
I see. Then what is troubling your husband? Madam, I cannot treat a querent without knowing first what his troubles are.
He is unable to perform his marital duties.
I see. And whatever does that mean? Your husband forgets to put out the night soil? Some broken shelving he's neglected to fix? Prithee, madam, I bid you be more precise.
Oh, this is really...
Oh, you know perfectly well what I mean, Simon. I bid you not drag this out any longer. Pray read the stars and let us get this over with.
As you wish, madam. Now, let us see. What ails Mr. Allen so as to render him unable to perform his marital obligations towards Mistress Allen?
Lost of carnal lust. Cold in the heart. A crick in the back. I'm going to go with...
Your husband is suffering from a lack of sanguinity in the brain, which has resulted in a loss of carnal lust. According to my chart, there is little hope of remedy.
Verily, no hope at all?
Nay, I'm afeard not.
Oh, then Mr. Allen is not, cannot be a full husband to me. At least not in the full, true sense of being a husband.
Precisely so. And as a physician, it behoves me to observe how unnatural and lamentable it is that a wife be so neglected.
Oh, Simon.
Oh, my darling Avis.
And coitus post consulato. I shall say 100 Hail Marys before bed this evening, nay, 200.
What doctors against him do make war? Doctors against him do make war. He makes love without a care. 'Tis true, Avis is not his my lord. But in love and war is fair. But in love and war is fair.
Last even, 'twas like a dream. Never in my life have I felt so. Oh, my sweet Avis, 'tis true you are married, but surely a love as great as ours can transcend such earthly impediments. Dare I hope for... Nay, 'tis most unlikely. Or is it? Forsooth, there be no harm in asking the stars. Might Avis Allen one day be mine?
Loyalties lie with her family. Cannot be erased. Optimistic, Mr. Allen will suffer of luck and die, and thus be free to marry me. This represents a change of direction due to death. Truth about our relationship, I would present things seething with jealousy. I'm not seeing things clearly. Ooh, she's hiding a secret from me.
What is this? Avis harbours a secret from me? Something that might arouse my jealous passions. Doubtless 'tis another man. But who could he be? Her carnal desire for him must be powerful indeed to draw her thoughts away from me, and I do not think Avis has occasion to meet any man so becoming as to provoke... Ah, I see.
Almighty God, lead thy servant's forward track away from sin and temptation, lest his wife does him an evil.
Interesting.
Good day, Dean Blugg. Fare you well?
Most well indeed, and I will tell you why. The conquering cherub has lately returned home to England.
Ah, this being the voyage you did invest in.
Aye, and what a sound investment it was, for it has paid off most handsomely. The cherub's cargo of nutmeg and pepper will fetch a high price indeed. In sooth, as I recall, it was you who advised me on this investment, was it not? I thank ye heartily for it, sir.
I am glad to have been of service, Dean Blugg.
Forsooth, my earnings have enabled me to make a substantial investment in Sir Walter Raleigh's expedition to the New World.
Methinks I've heard of this. 'Tis a quest to find the fabled lost city of gold, is it not?
Oh, dear.
Or as the Spanish call it, El Dorado?
The very same. For it is said that El Dorado does lie deep within the rainforests of the southern parts of the New World, hiding vast quantities of gold and precious jewels. Hence, what I would have you tell me is, exactly how rich can I expect to be made from my investment?
I see.
For if I am to be made very rich, I am afeard that news of my fabulous wealth may cause some jealousy among the clergy. News travels fast around the diocese, and I think it wise to get ahead of it if I can.
Then let us consult the stars. What will become of Thomas Blugg's investment in Sir Walter Raleigh's quest to find El Dorado?
Okay. Finances will bring him unhappiness. Confident, stubborn and confident, led by instinct. be met with violence. There's cause for pessimism, a surprising reversal to save the lives of children. God rewards exploration. Like was able to leave his children a legacy of fine things. I'm gonna go with C. Why not? I don't think they're gonna find it.
I am pleased to tell you, Dean Blarg, that your investment is secure. Indeed, this expedition will produce a fine legacy for you to leave your children. For, according to the stars, God has seen fit to reward England's conquering spirit of curiosity.
God favours the expedition? Oh, praise be to the Lord for his blessings!
And once you have received these blessings, Dean Blarg, I do hope you and Mistress Blarg will remember my years of service and friendship to you both. I have always endeavoured to,
Tush, tush, Dr. Foreman. Pray, let us not dwell on such vulgar subjects as money. For did we not at this moment learn that the discovery and conquest of this city is part of God's plan for the glory of our nation? The honour of having played my small part in it should be reward enough for us both.
Okay, close to a letter recommendation.
When the symptoms are rare and the questions are quitted,
The symptoms are rare and the questions are
when
quitted.
the melodies are strange and is
Ferraro, the not actually Italian gentleman.
good morrow, sir, and well met.
Indeed, 'tis I, Riccardo Ferraro, come once again to the great Dottore Simon Foreman.
Aye, and I can see why you are come. Methinks you are not well, signor. The colour of your face is quite alarming.
It is because I am losing the blood. The blood does drain away from my face, way down my body, and out of my...
You are bleeding from your fundament. How much have you been bleeding, and for how long?
Un poco, not too much. It does come and go. Sometimes blood, sometimes no blood. You stop the blood, see?
Mayhap I will, but first I must consult the stars to find a diagnosis. What ails Signor Riccardo Ferraro?
Okay. Hemorrhoids, which are swelling the anus and rectum up to bleed. Suffers from jaundice. He's not yellow enough. Oh, wait. Could be jaundice. Bleeding from the fundaments, though. What do we think it is, chat? I think it might be hemorrhoids. Yeah, let's go with hemorrhoids, Muzz.
There is nothing here to worry about, Signor Ferraro. Your body is merely purging itself of corrupted blood, in a similar manner to that which does occur in a woman's nethers each month. To wit, 'tis most healthsome and natural.
Are you sure? Are you sure that is your final answer?
Indeed it is. I do assure you, Signor, 'tis the very latest medical thinking on the subject of hemorrhoids. You are welcome to procure a second opinion, but I warrant you will find that most doctors in London will tell you the same.
Then Riccardo Ferraro bids you good day, Signor Foreman.
a textbook answer, but it is not hard for a common man to procure a medical book nowadays. Yeah, he's definitely investigating me.
This woman has a gift for words. If only she had riches words, they'd probably be much better words. Though written by Our Lady.
Did you see that?
See what, madam?
Your querent, Signor Ferraro, scuttling away from me like a frighted rabbit. What have I ever done to upset the man? All I did was wish him buongiorno as I passed him at the door.
Verily, Signor Ferraro's behaviour does sound full strange. But let us not think of him, but of the matter that brings you hither, Mistress Lanier. How do you fare?
I fare most well, in the main, for I'm happy to report that you were quite wrong in judging that collaboration with Mr. S would fare ill, for in sooth 'tis going exceeding well. Verily, Dr. Foreman, I would be right content with my lot at present if it were not for the trouble I am come about this day.
Pray, tell me of this trouble, madam.
I am being prowled. Oftentimes in the night I see him following me home. One time methinks I even caught him looking at me through my window. I would have you tell me who this prowling man might be.
A prowler? How very worrisome. Can you describe this man to me?
Nay, for 'tis always at night that I spy him, and I have always been too frighted for my eyes to linger upon him very long.
Then let us see what light the stars can shed upon the identity of this man who hides himself in darkness. Who is the man prowling Mistress Lanier?
Prowler is a violent husband. The Prowler hopes for a reversal of the ill luck he has had with the Mistress Lanier. He harbours a misguided hope that she'll perform her wifely duties and resume intimate relations with him. No. Or it could be. She has some mental confusion owing to her religious belief. She is also harbours an unjust level of mistrust towards her prospective romantic partners. Confusion. No. Undeclared feeling. The Prowler harbours undeclared feelings for Mistress Lanier. The Prowler is a man of authority and a master of wit. She considers him a friend. I think it might be A.
Madam, how have relations betwixt you and Mr. Lanier been of late? Does he exhibit any signs of a cruel or controlling nature? Is he prone to violence?
Aye, indeed, Dr. Foreman. My husband uses uncouth words, throws my books about, and even breaks chairs when he is in a temper. All the more so after he overindulges in strong drink.
I am full sorry to hear it, madam. But it does solve our mystery, for the stars suggest that it is none other than your husband who has been prowling you.
Verily, in truth, it does not surprise me. I will to home go and tell my husband to...
Prithee, madam, for the sake of your safety, act not in haste. If confronted, your husband may do you harm.
There is truth in what you say. Forsooth, if Alfonso would spend his evenings following me about, mayhap I leave him to it. For if he hopes to catch me cuckolding him with another man, he will be exceeding disappointed.
Very good. 70. Almost there at the letter of mentioned.
Hear ye, hear ye! Sir Walter Raleigh fails to find legendary Treasure City. Rumours say next Raleigh voyage is to Pot of Gold at End of Rainbow. Hear ye!
Ah. Didn't we say that that person... Well, we could have told you that would fail. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I knew it was going to fail. And we definitely set that guy up to fail. But I wanted the... Let's see if it would get me the letter of recommendation from him. Reports have come to Sir Walter Raleigh's expedition to the New World in search of El Dorado has been a colossal cluster fail. Despite Raleigh's... Sorry, I need to move something. Blech. Despite Raleigh's assurances to the Queen that he would return with gold ready from the legendary city, it is that Raleigh's ship brought back naught but potatoes. Or pot-at-os. Experts predict Her Majesty's reaction to be somewhat testy.
Here comes Emma, so kindly she, to the frail and aged she offers sympathy. What is she for others' hands? Especially when they're born of wealth. Here comes Emma, so kind-hearted is she.
Sorry, I'm just replying to an email very quickly. Just got an email back from the guy I've commissioned to do some artwork for the upcoming Call of Cthulhu game. And it's looking real cool. Really cool.
Good day to you, Mistress Sharp.
Good day, Dr. Foreman. But I am Mistress Delamere now.
Mistress Delamere? But as I recall from my case notes... let me see now. 'Twas 3 years past. Aye, were you not hoping to marry a man named George Middleton?
Oh, yes. I did marry Mr. Middleton. For though I did tell my family what you said about his condition of the heart, they quite insisted that I marry him. And truly, they were full wrong to do so, for just as you predicted, Mr. Middleton did verily die of his cardiac passion, mere months after we were wed.
So soon? How very tragical.
I blame the Scotsman who took to playing his bagpipes below our bedroom window at odd hours of the day and night. Such a bothersome man. Betwixt him and the vipers Mr. Middleton discovered one morning nesting in his undergarments, I fear 'twas all too much for his poor, weak heart. Oh.
There, my dear lady. How distressing your late husband's death must have been for you.
Aye, indeed, Dr. Foreman, so much so that my friends urged me to marry again, lest I die of grief. But now that I am once more a wife, I would not wish to be widowed anew, and John Delamere, my present husband, is also an older man. Dr. Foreman, you must tell me whether there be any illness he has, whether there be anything I might do to save my dear sweet husband from an early death.
Then let us see what the stars have to say. Is Mr. John Delamere troubled with any condition that may cause him to die?
I think he is going to be. Let's have a look. He also has cardiac passion. He has been bewitched. With quinsy, a condition characterized by a soreness in the throat. Same diagnosis, cardiac passion. Oh, fuck it, I'm gonna go same diagnosis.
Madam, I am afeard your new husband suffers from a cardiac passion.
Oh, not Mr. Delamere as well?
Aye, 'tis a common condition among men of a certain age. You must keep him away from anything that may cause him alarm or shock. To wit, changes in temperature, sudden
What has happened to the sounds?
And bagpipes and
Oh,
snake?
I will, sir, I will indeed. I thank ye for this wise counsel. Good day, Dr. Foreman.
Oh, that was weird. 60. Almost there with her as well.
She was a fine host, of this she will oft boast. She loves to entertain, she loves to entertain. Though hard she does try, her dinners go awry. And in tears and shame,
Okay. Interesting. Also, by the way, today I am live on Steam as well as YouTube
Good morrow,
and
Mistress
Twitch.
Fortescue. How may I help you this day?
I did lately experience feelings of a most strange and disturbing nature, for which I desire an explanation.
I see. Prithee describe these feelings to me, madam. When did they occur?
Last eve, at a dinner party hosted by my dear friend Mistress Emma Delamere. All was well at first, but soon after my arrival I was stricken with a kind of madness.
Madness, you say?
Yes.
Madness.
Moments during which I found myself overcome with feelings of mirth, laughing most immoderately at the dullest of remarks made by other guests. At other times I felt an unnatural fascination with the shape of the candelabra in the table's centrepiece. And all the while I was so ravenous with hunger, I quite absent-mindedly ate all the sweetmeats at my end of the table.
She got high.
I fear my rapaciousness did not escape the notice of guests seated beside me.
Such an immoderate appetite is out of character for you, I take it. It could not have merely been occasioned by anxious passions?
Why, nay, Dr. Foreman. Forsooth, I ought to have been very calm last eve, for I did spend the afternoon inhaling the fumes of an aromatic oil, a gift from my sweet husband, sent back from his
Smoked a
explorations
fat
in the Near
doobie and
East.
went to a party.
I
Great.
did mention my husband, Captain Henry Fortescue, before, I think. He is a great friend of Sir Walter Raleigh.
This game is
Henry and
fantastic.
Sir Walter find the oil most relaxing, so he tells me.
Yet you were not so very relaxed last eve, I take it.
No, not in the least. For I fear a capricious spell was cast upon me. Over the course of the evening, I developed the strongest intuition that malignant forces were present in the room, and that I had been bewitched. Could it be true, Dr. Foreman? Might a witch have cast a spell on me?
Oh,
That is something we shall have to ask the stars, madam. Let us see. What was it that afflicted Mistress Sybil Fortescue last eve at dinner?
oh dear. What caused her strange behaviour? Melancholy. She's been bewitched. Smoke inhalation. There we are.
Now, madam, the oil your husband sent you. This was the first time you did inhale its fumes, methinks.
Yes, the shipment of gifts from my husband did only lately arrive.
Then I think we have your answer. I have read some interesting tales of such oils and herbs of the Near East. 'Tis said they occasion certain temperaments. To wit, an excessive sanguinity, which will have caused the immoderate laughter and increased appetite. They can also provoke a narrowing of the mind, which would explain your temporary fascination with the candelabra, and I believe the fumes of this oil may also have been responsible for the notion that you have been bewitched.
And the men of the Near East gain pleasure from this oil? They would render themselves foolish on purpose?
Aye, indeed. Foreigners have many strange customs and desires that we cannot hope to understand.
How fascinating! I thank you for this explanation, sir. Indeed, 'twill make for a most diverting tale with which to regale guests at my next dinner. God give you good morrow, Dr. Foreman.
She's just smoking pot. I love it. Oh, so close to the letter of recommendation there.
Another consultation. Will this one end in bad? Or will Mistress Allen slap him round the head?
Good day, Mistress Allen. what brings you this day? Oh, dear lady, you tremble like a leaf on an autumn day.
Aye, for I am most affrighted. But Mr. Allen says he thinks I worry over naught. So I am come to you, for methinks you would... Perchance you may help me.
By my troth, Pray tell me of this evil that affrightens you, madam, and I shall do all in my power to protect you from it.
Yes, evil. Oh, indeed, 'tis the very word for it. I have seen a dark figure prowling outside our house in the night, and once I saw him spying through my window. Who is he? What does he want from me? What am I to do?
I see. And you do not recognize his face or any other particulars? The colour of his hair, for instance?
Oh, nay, for 'tis always so dark. But by his silhouette I can tell he is a bony, scrawny little man.
Is he verily? But your husband thinks 'tis naught to worry over, you say?
Aye, he says the man is doubtless naught but a poor travelling tinker who is merely taking shelter in our garden. 'Twould explain why his figure is so slight, to be sure, but what if he is not a tinker? What if his purpose is more sinister?
Aye, indeed. Then let us consult the stars. Who is the man prowling outside the Allen's house in the night, and what is his purpose?
Intimate relationship with my eye is changing. Mature, intelligent man who is a secret enemy of the Allens. Ooh, or of his mind, she must rein in her behaviour. Not only does Avis have a deception nature, she is obsessed with romance and has a preference for younger men. The House of God is punishment. No, I think B. I think B.
The stars suggest the prowler is a secret foe of your husband. Does Mr. Allen have any gambling debts, perchance?
Hold. Methinks I see it now. Ah, 'tis you! The prowler, 'tis you!
Me? How now, madam? What an outlandish notion.
So you would deny it? That you have prowled and spied upon me these last months?
Prithee, Avis, you've got it all...
I will not have it. I am not a thing to be owned. I'm not one of your prized possessions.
Prithee, madam, put that down. Put it...
Ah!
Fie, madam. That was a priceless Venetian vase.
Oh no. This correlate will not return for another consultation. Oh no. Fine. If I see him in the garden again, I shall have Mr. Allen go and name me things. I best not tell Mr. Allen.
Who is this man who has earned such acclaim?
This is William Shakespeare.
He returned from his conquests in Spain.
Oh no.
The streets of London resound with his fame.
Oh, Robert Devereux is at the top there. The Earl of Essex.
Good day, sir. How may I... By Jupiter! Can it be true? Robert Devereux, the Earl of Essex, Lord of Her Majesty's Privy Council, a hero of the Battle of Cadiz.
Prithee, calm yourself, Sarah. Pray, treat me just as you would any other querate.
Of course, as it pleases your lordship. But may I say, what a great privilege it is to... may I offer you a...
You are the man who had some success treating the plague some years past, are you not?
Oh, indeed, my lord. You are very well informed. My strong water did save many a Londoner from a most lamentable death.
Then perchance you might have some cunning cure for me as well, for since I am returned to England upon having resolved that small matter in Spain, I find myself afflicted with the most vexing ailment.
Oh, but your most glorious capture of the Spanish city of Cadiz was no small matter, my lord. All England talks of nothing else. Why, pamphlets recounting your heroic exploits are sold on every street corner in London.
Mayhap they are. I know nothing of them. My single-handed victory against the King of Spain was but a trifling affair, and the least I could do for my queen and a grateful nation. But I fear vast riches and the hearts of many a Spanish beauty were not the only things I did capture while I was there.
What else did you capture in Spain, my lord? I fear I do not grasp your meaning. If you would kindly show me where upon your body you are...
As you see, this Spanish disease I caught has me oozing a most disagreeable substance.
Oh, no.
Methinks I have a fair idea of the nature of your affliction, but I must confirm the judgment with a reading of the stars. Let us see, what disease troubles Robert Lord Devereux, the Earl of Essex?
Suffering from gonorrhea, disease connected by white matter running from the privy member. Yep, he's got gonorrhea. Troubled with love. Evil digestion. No, he's got gonorrhea.
You have gonorrhea, my lord. 'Tis a condition provoked by an increase in intimate activities.
Too much strumpy-humpy, eh? Well, 'tis true that since news of my victory got about, every wench from Southwark to Shoreditch wants a piece of my action, as it were. And how may this gonorrhea be cured?
The most effective method is lead plate therapy. Usually this requires a man to lie in bed for many hours with a leaden plate positioned upon his privy parts, thus allowing the lead to impart its healing properties to the affected member. But, of course, men such as your lordship have no time to lie around in bed, which is why... Let me just fetch it from my cabinet. Which is why I invented this.
And that is what? Some sort of wonder chub, like the ones old men used to wear?
Precisely so, my lord. 'Tis a codpiece that I had a blacksmith fashion out of lead. I invite your lordship to wear it under your breeches so that the lead may remain in contact with your privy member at all times. Indeed, until you are cured.
How very droll this is. Verily, how old-fashioned. I will appear as hung as old King Henry Tudor. Mayhap I just wear it in my chambers.
Good day, and please come again. If you need anything at all, I am at your service.
Oh dear. It's most pleased. Ooh, letter recommendation with him would be great.
Watch your lover, Avis, watch her night and
Oh my god, is it just...
if a woman has your heart, you cannot let her stray.
Avis, I did not expect to see you this evening. Do you bring news?
Aye, some very good news. At least if you confirm it for me. Methinks I am with child.
How very wondrous. And, have you any idea of who might...
Aye, verily, with child. But I dare not to. Forsooth, what if it be naught but false hope?
Then let us ask the stars without delay. Is Mistress Avis Allen verily with child?
Evil angels are confusing Miss Allen. Within months, the child will become clear she is not with child. Feel optimistic about relationship with me. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Oof. Soon become clear that she's not with child. I think B. No, the first one had a lot of star signs. Let's go with A.
I am sorry to tell you, Avis, you are not with child this time.
Nay, verily?
I am feared so.
But why?
Why are you so plump at present? Well, you're not as young as you once were, but with a trifle more exertion around the house.
First you tell me I'm not with child, and then you call me a plump, lazy old woman?
'Tis not I, 'tis the stars. I have no control over...
Oh, how could you speak such... Oh, why must you insult me so? What new imagined sin did I commit that you would punish me for now?
By my troth, 'twas never my intention to insult you, Avis. But I see I have vexed you. Pray forgive me, Avis.
Fret not, Simon. In truth, I know you mean no harm. Methinks 'tis that such disappointment is hard to bear. I did so wish it to be true, that you and I were to have a child.
Right, Finn.
Rich but not satisfied, mayhap you have not tried this one weird trick for displaying your wealth, by herbs and confections to boost your complexion and pass idle hours tending to your health.
Good even, sir. Who do I have the pleasure of welcoming to my chambers this day?
Nicholas Muggs, proprietor of Muggs Rugs down on Silver Street.
Ah, the wig makers. You supply wigs to players, do you not? I have heard tell of your fine work from some of my playhouse querents.
I thank ye for your kindness, sir. I do hear you are very skilled at your trade also. For are you not the curer of the plague of 92? Forsooth, I do hope you may cure me as well. For though I do not think I have the plague, whatever I have is doubtless most grave, no matter what my wife thinks.
And what is it your wife thinks?
It be her mind that I have taken naught but a chilly cold in the head. But 'tis not so, Dr. Foreman, for I ache all over. My throat is grown sore, and I cough day and night.
Day and night, you say?
Aye, verily.
I see. Then let us consult the stars. What does ail Nicholas Mugg?
Hypochondria. Produced by witchcraft. A cold in the head. Cardiac passion. I think it's a cold in the head.
I am pleased to say that your wife is correct, and you have little to worry over. You have what we doctors call frigidus ad hominem, or as it is more commonly known, a man cold.
Frigid... A man cold, you say?
Aye, 'tis a cold in the head, suffered uniquely by those of the male sex. And although it be a minor affliction, the suffering can be very great.
A minor affliction, you say? That cannot be right. I bid you check the stars again, sir. For see how ill I am. And
He's
my
got man
throat grows
flu.
so hoarse I can hardly speak.
I think the trouble in your throat may be occasioned by overuse. Perhaps you might try, discoursing less.
Well, I think you ought to know that I will be seeking a second opinion.
As you will, sir. Good day.
Didn't like that. 35 minutes? Yeah, I know.
Robert Lord Devereux's a rising star, dashing and debonair, he will go far. Oh, London greets him with cries of huzzah. In truth, we cannot state how sweet we are.
Good day, my lord. How may I do you service? Would it pertain to some thrilling adventure upon which you may soon be embarking?
Indeed it does. Sir Walter Raleigh and I did recently come across some intelligence concerning a fleet of Spanish ships that will soon be sailing home from the New World, bearing a goodly cargo of gold. Raleigh and I plan to borrow the royal fleet. which we will use to intercept the ships and seize the treasure.
Huzzah! But, borrow the Royal Navy, you say?
Aye, only temporarily, of course. The Queen will hardly know her ships are gone. Indeed, when we return them to her bearing a handsome prize of Spanish gold, she will doubtless forgive our failure to file the correct paperwork and what-not.
Doubtless. And how may I assist your lordship in this glorious endeavour?
Well, in order to intercept the Spanish fleet, we must know which route it is planning to take. One possibility is that it returns to Spain having retrieved the gold from the New World's southern continent. The other possibility, and this is the one Sir Walter thinks most likely, is that the gold has already been transported by conquistadors from the southern continent up to Havana, and the ships are to fetch it from there.
Then let us see whether the stars can tell us upon which route the treasure ships may be intercepted on their return to Spain from the New World. Will they be sailing from the southern continent or from the Spanish colony of Havana?
Right, let's try and work this one out. Crew of Spanish who happened upon gold conquering and it's killing its owners. Through conquering following peoples, the King of Spain established a fine cultural legacy within future generations. Spanish sailors hide a shameful secret that takes a lack of self-control. Trust his friends Raleigh's instincts. Women factor into the Spaniards' travel plans. I think B.
The stars are of the same mind as your friend Sir Walter Raleigh. Now, for regardless of where the Spaniards load their ships with gold, they will stop at the port of Havana. It seems the Spanish sailors will be unable to calm their carnal desires.
Excellent, excellent. But where are we to intercept them? Pray, give me the precise day, latitude, and longitude.
Certainly, my lord. But divining nautical coordinates is a somewhat lengthy and complex process. If your lordship would kindly return in an hour or so...
Quickly, sir! I have not the time to bide here all day.
Well then, let me see now. Taking into account the position of Jupiter, divide by 3, carry the 1. Yes. The Spanish treasure ships may be intercepted upon the 15th day of October at a latitude of 9 and 40 degrees north and 5 and 20 degrees west, or thereabouts. That said, however, I cannot promise you that...
Excellent. Raleigh and I shall sail to this very spot. Huzzah!
Huzzah! Godspeed, my lord.
Oh, that's not going to go well.
She never went to school, and she's kind and never cruel. Do not take Alice for a fool. Alice Clark, she is no fool.
Good evening to you, madam. How might I...
Hi. Pray go tell your master, Mr. Foreman, that Mistress Alice Blarg is come to see him.
Mistress Blarg. It is I, Dr. Simon Foreman, at your service. And what an honour it is to welcome the wife of the Dean of Rochester to my humble practice. To whom do I owe my thanks for having recommended you to my care?
Well, I will not lie. You owe your thanks to nobody. For folk do tell me that you are not a real doctor, but a quack, who does conjure demons and dabbles most unlawfully in the dark arts.
I do assure you, madam, that whatever you may have heard, I am
Yea, do not quibble, sir. If I did seek the counsel of a doctor who has one of those fancy medical degrees, or the kind of high-bred know-it-all who does see fit to judge a woman and vex her most cruelly, I would have gone elsewhere. But, truth be told, I have need of such a man as you, for I have been bewitched by a witch.
I see.
Yea, a loathsome spell has been cast upon me. It does cause me to awaken in the morning with a most terrible pain in my head, a pain so wretched it does have me chundering into my chamber pot.
Pain in the head and involuntary purging. And what leads you to believe your suffering is occasioned by witchcraft?
Well, The timing is most unnatural. My troubles do occur every Saturday morning without fail. I suspect the doings of our new neighbour, the widow MacDoon. As well as being Scottish, she does possess several cats.
Several cats, you say?
One or two of which I may have kicked, and now she has seen fit to take revenge upon me with her dark, foreign magic.
Right.
Indeed. Scotland is well known for the powerful black witchcraft practiced by its womenfolk. But as compelling as this evidence may be, my practice does draw upon the latest scientifical arts. To diagnose your condition, I must first perform a rigorous astronomical analysis. So, let us see now, what do the stars say is the cause of your Saturday morning suffering?
Noxious food or drink. With child. Bewitched. She's not going to be happy, but...
Madam, may I delicately inquire as to whether it be the habit of you and your husband to take wine with supper? On Friday evenings, perchance? Drinking a little overmuch on occasion is nothing to be ashamed of. Many of my most respectable querents do find that a fine French claret can be deceptively...
Oh, nay, more's the pity. My husband is a tiresome teetotaler who prefers to spend his evenings writing sermons and counting coin. He hardly ever accompanies me to the tavern on Fridays.
Does he not? Well, in any case, I am much afraid that the ale you do consume upon these tavern visits may be to blame for your affliction. The consumption of strong drink can provoke an excess of black bile, which then does cause the body to purge itself the following day. I do advise you to consider...
Then I am not bewitched. But if that be true, then to poor Molly MacDoon I have been most rude and unneighbourly. For shame. I must go to her this hour and apologise. Fare you well, Mr. Foreman. I must bid you good day.
Okay. Wasn't too bad, actually.
Beware conspirations, plots and machinations, the schemes of big physic to sell you their wares. Their cures do us violence, but they call it science. They mock our beliefs and belittle our fears.
Okay. I think this is going to be my last one before I call this first stream.
It seems as you were right. Though I was, in sooth, much troubled with the vile disease of, what did you say it was? Fudgipus and Honeyman, I did not die.
Frigidus ad hominem. I am most glad to hear it, sir. Indeed, you do look well.
Well? Mayhap I look well now, but 'twill not be for long. I have been poisoned.
Poisoned? By the saints! Who is the author of this foul deed?
My friend George Sprottle, the bookbinder. I did dine with him not 2 hours ago.
Ah, I see. A bout of evil digestion. Pray tell, was there turned meat or some such at table?
Nay, not meat. 'Twas a pie full of cherries. I had a bite of it afore I knew what I was eating. Aye, cherries. And this after I took particular care to give Mistress Sprottle a list of foods I must not eat. I added cherries to the list when I did hear that the Countess of Devonshire has declared against their noxious qualities.
The Countess of Devonshire, you say? Noxious qualities, indeed. And now your symptoms, Mr. Mugg. Had you any reaction after eating these cherries?
My reaction? Well, I reacted as any man would. I spat them out. And know you what Mr. Sprottle did then, Dr. Foreman?
Nay, but pray tell.
He did laugh at me. He even called me a dinner-ralphing fusspot. Fie, I may soon be in the grave, thanks to George. Will he still be laughing then?
Well, let us not speculate, shall we, Mr. Mugg? Now, let us see what the stars may tell us. What ails Nicholas Mugg?
Cherry poisoning.
Your condition has been provoked by the rancor you feel towards your host for having ignored your alimentary demands. These feelings have caused your spleen to produce ill humours, which you are presently venting in the form of bilious anger. Hence it will quickly pass.
I see. But what of the cherries I ate?
Cherries are perfectly safe to eat. Truly, Mr. Mugg, you must abandon these absurd and superstitious notions about the evils of particular fruits and vegetables.
Must I?
Aye. With the exception of onions, of course. For onions do render a man susceptible to the plague.
Onions, verily? I thank you for the warning, Dr. Foreman. I shall add onions to my list.
Onions causing the plague. Alright, I'm going to leave this stream here. I've got to go do a recording session. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm really enjoying this. I might come back. I will definitely come back to this, but I don't know when. I will let you know. Join the Discord and all the things. I hope that people enjoyed this stream. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.